St. Joseph Center of Arkansas was formed as a nonprofit organization with a mission of restoration and revitalization of this historic property. We started this effort back in 2008 when it was announced that everything was going to be sold. Word on the street was that the building would be torn down and apartments built over the 63 acres. So a group of us got together and decided this was way too special a property to let that happen, and set about trying to figure out a way to revitalize it. We entered into a 50-year lease with the owners of the property back in 2010. As we were trying to figure out exactly what we wanted to become, we realized quickly that instead of focusing our efforts on the building itself, that we should look to the land. The Catholic Diocese of Little Rock are the owners of the property, and the person that was responsible for the construction of the orphanage, the creation of the orphanage, was Bishop Morris, who himself was a farmer and had purchased 720 acres of land to create a self-sustaining farm in order to run the orphanage. So it's really kind of fun that we've come full circle and we are creating something of a self-sustaining farm to try and revitalize the property.
It's actually, which is like a hidden jewel, hidden gem. It's in the middle of a city, but it's in the middle of the city, but it's rural. First started working with them, they was just actually trying to revitalize the area. I came out and did a field evaluation, and then we tried to go from there and see how our program could fit around what their needs. They wanted to extend the growing season on their planting, so the seasonal high tunnel would help them do that. With micro irrigation would be efficient at the same time, so you wouldn't waste water.
We worked with NRCS closely to develop a micro irrigation system that would be used. We do not have wells on the property, so our water source is the city water, and of course that can be very expensive. So we worked with the engineers at NRCS to develop a system that would conserve water usage, and it's worked out beautifully. We have micro irrigation in each of the high tunnels, utilizing drip tape and a pump system that also can vertigate or fertilize as we water. Overall, I can say, as managing the entire property, the water costs have stayed very manageable.
St. Joseph's is conserving a lot of water, a lot of labor, and a lot of time by using micro-irrigation in their seasonal high tunnels and on their natural ground. They're growing a lot of high-value crops. They've innovated their system to serve a lot of purposes. Micro-irrigation is a precise system of low pressure, low volume application of water on or beneath the soil surface. The energy savings that we would have is that your system comes out very uniformly. The water comes out uniformly to each plant, to where, as opposed to if you were running water down a furrow or hand watering each plant, you get a much uniform application.
Just keeping water off the leaves. We're not spraying water anywhere. We're using a lot less water than we would be if we were spraying, overhead onto the plants. And it really helps with the disease issues, because one of the problems that we have in the tunnels is powdery mildew, and probably the best way to reduce that is just keep humidity away from the plants, keep a lot of airflow, and micro irrigation really helps with that. The other benefit is that we can do a lot of fertigation, so we can fertilize through our irrigation lines, and it makes it a little bit easier to control how much fertilizer is going in and just where it's going.
You look at most of your urban environment here in North Little Rock, it's all about savings, because you turn around and look at micro irrigation, it's just a drip system. You're gonna put that water right on the plant, on the location where you need it. If you try to run it down with a water hose, if you hook up to the public water system, you probably efficiency and as well as your bill, trying to keep your expenses down at the same time. That was one of their goals, to try to reduce costs and be efficient as possible, so they wouldn't have to, so it wouldn't cost them so much. But with the micro irrigation system, it helped them keep the irrigation costs down. It's actually, I feel like it's been a blessing to NRCS for me and for Pulaski County as a DC. They have been out. I've sent several landowners, even from other counties, to come out and see the high tunnel system, see the micro irrigation system, see the mulching, the different practices that we actually cost share on. I feel like it's been a blessing to us, for NRCS, to be able to partner with them so we can show our our potential customers, this is what it looked like, this is how it look on your place. I can actually show somebody what it look like in town. It's just been a pleasure to work with them. I mean, this has really been an eye-opener for me because I've been in traditional row crop majority of my life, which is you have your rice, soybeans, corn, but when you start coming into the urban community and doing high tunnels, they're a lot smaller tracts. The projects are a little different.
Micro allows us to spot water, and we would be able to precisely apply the right amount of water to the plants, knowing that we are limited in our natural resources.
I feel like sustainability is a really important issue, so we have to really think about how we're utilizing the resources, especially things like soil, where it's very easy to not think about, like, down the road, how much is this going to be giving back as far as productivity. Doing the necessary management practices to help make sure that you're keeping that soil going and that you're keeping it healthy. It's really important. It's very valuable. And I'm glad that NRCS is helping make those practices available to farmers, make it very easy for them.
Well, I think it's helped define the direction that St. Joseph Center needs to go, and that is to educate today's children about where their food comes from, how it's grown, what they can do to help be good stewards of the environment, have some close and personal opportunities with animals and livestock, and to protect our earth and of course one of the most valuable resources, our water.